What's up guys, welcome back to GromGeekz. Today I'm going to share with you 5 tips or useful things to think about before you go ahead and buy your first Honda Grom. So the first tip I have for you is, do you want to buy new or used? So my girlfriend, she bought a brand new 2023 Honda Grom from the dealership, the Honda dealership down in Phoenix. And we had to pay almost $800 in dealership fees. They got the freight charge, they got the build charge, they got the extra charge, they got the Honda charge, they got the sales tax charge, they got all kinds of charges. So there's obviously a benefit to buying a brand new bike. You don't have to worry about how the other owner treated it. You don't have to worry about any engine modifications that were done or improper oil changes or whatever you could think of that could go wrong. So there's definitely some benefits to buying brand new. You get like a clean blank slate of a bike to customize or just keep it stock, kind of like my girlfriend has right now. Hers is completely stock. And honestly, it's kind of fun to see like where the bikes begin, where they start off at. See that transformation of, oh, here's a stock bike. They're not bad bike stock, and I actually enjoy riding my girlfriend's stock bike. So, or you could go the used route, and used, you are having the risk of how did the owner treat it? You know, was it stunted? Was it raced? You know, did they ever change the oil or whatnot? But as far as price is concerned, used is significantly cheaper. You're not paying sales tax. You're not paying any of those dealer fees. So that's a big deal, and you can just go ahead and pick up the bike, and you don't have to pay extra stuff. And a lot of times you can just offer them, you know, like $3,000, and you might be able to buy the bike. And there's always new Honda Groms on the market if you guys look around. So yeah, number 1 tip, new or used. And in my personal opinion, I would buy used. The 2 Groms that I have gotten them used, and I have no problems. No problems with them so far. All right, guys, tip number 2 is manage your expectations, and is this something you really want to get? A lot of people I see on the Facebook Honda Grom groups, they're complaining that it's not fast enough. They're complaining that it's not big. It's not as big as they thought it was going to be. It's too small. It's too slow. It's a Honda Grom, guys. It is a fun toy to have fun on. It's not, you can't expect it or compare it to a full-size bike in terms of speed, in terms of size. It's a mini moto. It's a small bike. It is not intended to be a full-size bike. It is not intended to be on the freeway. It is not intended to have a lot of power. And that's the point of Honda Groms, guys, and that's why I love them. So you have to ask yourself, is that something that you're going to enjoy? And the only way to really know that, if you've never ridden one before, is I suggest going out and either test riding one that's for sale, or get a friend to ride to let you ride theirs. But you got to ride one, and that's where I fell in love with them, and that's where I find, or that's where I discovered like how awesome they are. I actually bought my OG Grom and then rode it. I didn't have any prior experience on a Grom. But when I test rode it, I was like, I gotta get this, I'm getting this. So yeah, just know that it's not gonna be a super fast bike, it's not gonna be super powerful, or it's definitely gonna be small too. And that's something you gotta think about. So yeah, make sure that this is the kind of motorcycle that you want. There's a lot of people that already have like a Harley Davidson, or they already have a full-size bike and then they get a Grom. Or there's crazy people like me where the Grom is my only motorcycle. I have a FRS, I have a Honda Pilot, I already have 2 regular vehicles. So the Grom is basically like a fun thing for me to do, a fun hobby, which obviously with this YouTube channel, I'm very excited about. But yeah, just make sure that the Grom is something that you want, and you are understanding that you have some restrictions there with the size of the bike. All right, number 3 tip before you go out and buy your first Grom is check the bike and check the title. Check the bike, pretty obvious stuff, guys. If you're buying a used bike, make sure there's no leaks, make sure the tire tread's pretty good, make sure the chain's not super loose or worn out, make sure that when you test ride it, everything seems fine, make sure the fork seals aren't leaking, make sure that the odometer is not like crazy high, and make sure that everything seems to be working fine, and really, peck away at the seller and make sure that there's nothing that they're hiding, and just common sense stuff, guys. Check the bike, and then the title, of course, make sure it's a clean title, make sure it's in their name, and make sure that you don't have any crazy issues there. But the main thing is check the bike, make sure you're not going to get ripped off or you're not buying a piece of junk. Pretty obvious stuff. Honda Groms are pretty much bulletproof. Like you have to really try to break them. The one I bought an OG Honda Grom in 2015. It had a cam, an intake, and exhaust. It had the ECU tune. You could go up to 10,000 RPMs. Awesome bike. Didn't have a single problem with it. And this thing was modified to the bones, completely modified. So definitely do the obvious stuff and check out the bike before you buy it. Biggest and best tip before you go out and buy your Honda Grom is make sure you're gonna have fun. Be ready to just have fun. This is not a super serious bike. This is a bike that is strictly for joy and fun. And yeah, you can use it to commute. Yeah, you can use it to go get a little bit of groceries from the store. So it is absolutely practical. The fact that it gets 130 miles per gallon, the fact that it's a Honda and it's super reliable. Those are all great things, but mainly guys, the Grom is pure fun. Just another reason why I love them so much and why I'm so passionate about them. So you gotta get yourself one, get ready to have the time of your life. Definitely the funnest thing I've ever owned, and some of the best times I've already had in my life are out there on the Grom. So yeah, those are my 5 tips to help you guys purchase your first Grom. Take your time. There's lots of Groms on Marketplace. Make sure it's one you want, or you know what, why not have 2 Groms? That's what I've been thinking lately, because I love them so much and I'm starting this channel. I might be getting another Grom soon, guys. Maybe one just for stunting. Oh, that's another thing. If you're into stunting and doing wheelies and doing stoppies and doing cool tricks, you know, get a bike catered to that. Some of them already have the cages on them and the engine protection. So that's a whole other, you know, type of riding style that I didn't mention in the past section here. So yeah, if you guys like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Let me know what kind of Grom that you bought or that you're going to buy. And yeah, hit me up in the comments. Thanks for watching, you guys. Hit that thumbs up button if you liked it. Hit that subscribe button. Peace. All right, tip number 3. What kind of riding do you want to do? So a lot of people put knobbies on their Groms, which are really cool. My OG Grom that I bought, originally it had knobbies on it, and I loved it because I'm out here in the northern Arizona area. Up here in the desert, we got lots of dirt roads, and it's the Grom's perfect for that with knobbies. So do you want more of like a dirt bike style Grom, or do you want a street Grom? And most of the Groms are street Groms. The Grom I have now has street tires. It's a 22 yellow with street tires, and I love it. And that's the majority of the riding that I'm actually gonna be doing. As much as I did like my knobbies, like I'm gonna be riding primarily on the road. So you gotta ask yourself that. Where do you wanna ride your Grom? Do you wanna go on off-road adventures all the time? Or do you wanna stay on the road, commute to work, go mess around, just cruising around on the Grom? And then as well, as far as the years go, so there's 3 generations of the Honda Grom so far. There's the OG, which is 2015 to like 17 or something. And then the SF, which is 2017 to 2022. And then there is the 3rd gen, which is the 22 and newer. And they all fit a little bit differently, so you gotta check that out. If you're above 6 feet tall, I would recommend the newer generation, the 3rd gen, because your legs actually fit snug on the bike. When I had my OG, that's one of the reasons why I sold it, is that my knees were like kind of uncomfortable when I would sit on it for longer rides. So that was the biggest factor in me selling it, is that fit wasn't very good. And also the Pro Taper bars on my OG were super low. And for a taller guy, I don't have very long arms, so I like taller bars. So the 3rd gen with the stock bars is very comfortable just out of the box. So I like that. So yeah, make sure, or ask yourself, what kind of riding do you want to do, and then get a bike catered to that riding. If you want to go on trails, get the knobby tire bike. If you want to stay on the street, get the street tire bike. And then all the little stuff in between. Lastly, guys, my